Okay, here's our first lesson of the year here in Algebra 1. We're going to kick it off with adding and subtracting positives and negatives. And we're going to use this number line that you have here. There's 3 number lines. They're all the same pretty much. And you have that. That's yours. And what you want to do in this packet is take notes on all the example problems I do in the video, and then you go work on the assignment. Now, I give you the numbers I want done and on the page I want done later in the packet, but first we're going to go through examples as to how to do this. Okay, with a number line, this is super easy, especially with the addition. So we have 4 plus negative 3. So what I say is, okay, the first number is 4. I'm going to underline that. And then I'm going to circle the operator sign, which is plus, and then negative 3. So 4 signifies a number that we start at. So 4. Oh, I got a bigger number line here, so on these first few, you can kind of view it. So I start at 4, and then I'm adding a negative number to that. So if I'm adding a negative number, we want to move to the left, because adding a negative to a value makes it smaller, okay? So I'm at 4, 1, 2, 3, and that takes me to 1. Okay, so 4 plus 3 equals 1. Okay, negative 6 plus 9 is the next problem. So negative 6 is my starter, and the operator's plus. And then I'm adding positive 9 this time. So when I'm adding a positive, I'm going to start at negative 6. That's your starter. And when I'm adding a positive number, we move to the right 9 units. So negative 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I'm at 3. Okay, negative 6 plus negative 8. Negative 6 is the starter. The operator is plus, and I am adding a negative right here. So since I'm adding a negative, we start at negative 6. So I want to start in the negatives right here. Here's negative 6. And then again, I'm moving to the left because I'm adding a negative 8 to that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, negative 14. Okay, so if you're adding a positive, you move to the right. If you're adding a negative, move to the left. It's that simple. Okay, next one. Our starter's negative 9, so that's going to be right here. The operator's plus. And I'm adding a negative number, so I'll move 3 units from the left. So negative 9, 1, 2, 3. I'm at negative 12. I mean, it's pretty well foolproof. If you add negative, you're moving left. Positive, you're moving right. Okay, next problem. My starter is a 17. The operator is add. And since I'm adding a negative number, we'll move to the left. Okay. So we've got quite a ways to move. We got 17. I need to move left 28 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. I'm at negative 11. Okay, negative 2 plus 7. The starter is negative 2. So know where you're starting. The operator's plus, and I'm adding a positive 7, so I move to the right. So I'm at negative 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That takes me to positive 5. If the answer is positive, you can just write 5. Okay, negative 9 plus negative 2. So the starter is negative 9. Find where you're starting at. The operator is addition, and we're adding a negative, so we move to the left. So negative 9, 1, 2, so negative 11. Okay, with decimals, you may use your calculator. This with the integers, which are just whole numbers, I want you to use a number line, but with the decimals, you can use a calculator. 5 plus negative 0.7. The negative would be under the 3, and that takes me to 4.3. Or no, it's 5.1, my bad. 5.1 plus negative 0.7, 4.4. Okay, and also you can kind of estimate to see if your answer is right. So 5.1 is the starter, operations adding, and the number we're adding is negative, so we're moving to the left. So if I were to start at 5.1, that's right here between 5 and 6, and if I were to move left 0.7, I'd move kind of left about in the middle here. 4.4 makes perfect sense. Now, the next page has some fractions at you. Now, I find with fractions aren't integers, you may use your calculator. So 1/2. So we go 1, and then the fraction key right here is this ABC button. Okay, hit it, and then put the 2. So 1/2 plus negative 7 over 2. So negative 7 ABC 2. Now you got negative 3. So let's look at how that actually happened. Okay, I mean, this is your starter. And first off, the denominators are the same. Okay, they're exactly the same. So therefore, I know that my answer would be over 2. So I start, and the operator's adding, and then it's negative. The number we're adding, so we're moving to the left. So I would start at 1. I would ignore the 2's. I would start at 1 and move left 7 units. Okay, so start at 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That takes me to negative 6. And if you divide 6 by 2, you get 3. So then the negative makes it negative. Okay, now right here, I'll punch it into my calculator. So 7 over 9 plus negative 5 over 12. Okay, I get 13 over 36. So I'm assuming that's the answer. But let's discover why. First off, I don't know what number to put down here. Like here, I knew right away it was going to be 2 because they were both 2's. But here we don't have a common denominator. So what I need to do is put 7 over 9 and then 5 over 12 and get a common denominator. So let's count by 12. So if I take 12, can 9 go into 12 evenly? No. And then the next multiple of 12 would be 24. Can 9 go into 24 evenly? I don't think so. 12, 24, 36. Can 9 go into 36? Yeah, I know 9 times 4 is 36. It goes into 36 4 times. So 36 is my common denominator. So 9 times what's 36? That'd be 4. And then I need to take 7 times 4, which is 28. Okay, 12 times what's 36? Well, that'd be 3. 5 times 3 is 15. So let's go replace these with 28 over 36 and keep the negative sign, and 15 over 36. So now I know that 36 is going to be the bottom. So my starting point's 28, and the operation's adding. And we are adding a negative number, negative 15, so I would move to the left. So we'd start at 28, positive, and move 15 to the left. So 28 would be over here, so 27's 1, 26, 25, right, that's at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That takes me to 13, okay? So 13 over 36. With fractions and decimals, I'm fine with you just doing the work on the calculator. With the integers, we need to use a number line, because when you take a test on this, you're going to have to use a number line. Okay. Now the next set of problems, it says find each difference. Well, here's the thing you got to pay attention to. Some people have problems with this. Negative 13 is your starting point, so we'll be starting at negative 13, and then we'll be moving 7 units in one of the two directions. The operator's minus, okay? We don't like operators to be minus. We want them to be plus. And here's how we convert the minus to a plus. If I am subtracting a positive number, I'm subtracting positive 7. You make the minus plus and the 7 negative. So now it's negative 13 plus negative 7, okay? So you know you will be moving to the left. So anytime you got minus, we need to convert it to addition. And if I'm minusing a positive number, it'll go plus, negative. Okay. And you might want to flip over your number line so you can write that down. Okay, so minus a positive. If we are subtracting a positive, if the operator is subtraction of a positive, we go plus, negative. Okay. So I know I'm starting at negative 13. I go 7 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So negative 20. Again, any operators that are minuses are converted to plus. Let's look at the problem underneath it, please. Negative 7's the starter. So here's negative 7. Okay. The operator is minus. This time we are minusing a negative number. Okay. When you're minusing a negative, up here you were minusing a positive, so you went plus, and then made that number negative. Now, if you're minusing a negative, you go plus, and you make that number positive. It's plus plus when you're minusing a negative. Taking away a negative goes to plus plus. So we have negative 7, and then it's just plus 5. No negative on the 5. Okay? So my starting point's negative 7, and I'm adding a positive, so I will go to the right. So negative 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That takes me to negative 2. Okay, now I'd like to go up here. I'd like to make these into a little more manageable. I want to cross this problem out and rewrite another problem. 3 minus negative 5. So the starting is positive 3, right here. And the operator's minus, so whenever we have an operator minus, we need to change. Are we minusing a negative or a positive here? We're minusing a negative, so it's plus, plus, okay? So we start at 3, and we're just adding 5, okay? That's what minus negative does. It switches it to just an addition sign. 3 plus 5 is 8. I mean, you'd start at 3, you'd go 5 to the right. End up at 8. Okay, I want to change this problem. I want to make it negative 2 minus 10. So the starting point's negative 2. Right here. The operator's minus, and we don't like operators of minus. Whenever the operator's minus, you got to change it. Okay? Now, am I minusing a negative or a positive here? You're minusing a positive. So when we minus a positive, we go plus negative. So now I have negative 2 plus negative 10. So I'm going to start at negative 2, and I'm going to go left 10. Because 10's negative, we're adding a negative. We always want to change the operator of subtraction to addition. Okay? So if you're minusing a positive, it goes plus, and then the number behind it's negative. But if you're minusing a negative, write this down on the back of your number line. We switch it to addition, and the number behind it goes to a positive. Okay, so negative 2, and then we're moving left 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm at negative 12. Okay. Now eventually you're going to get to where you can do the integers without the number line, the more you practice it. Okay, now with decimals, okay, I still want you to, so we start at 3.5. I want you to change the operator minus to addition. Now, are we subtracting a positive or a negative here? We're subtracting a positive, so plus negative, okay? Now, this would be decimals, so you're allowed to use your calculator. So 3.5 plus negative 1.9, 1.6. Here, I'll write that then. So I'll rewrite the problem so you can see what I did. And that is going to be 1.6. Okay, fractions. Well, here's the first problem. First problem, I don't know what my denominator is. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to write 7 over 16, 1/2. Actually, I'm going to do it on the calculator. You're allowed to just use a calculator for fractions. So starting minus, I want converted to plus. Now, are we minusing a negative or positive? You always got it. You don't just ever put plus. Whenever you make the minus a plus, you got to do something after it. Either plus negative or plus plus. I'm minusing a negative, so plus, plus. So that's 7 over 16 plus 1 over 2. Okay. So 7 over 16 plus 1 over 2. ABC is makes it fractions. And that gives you 15 over 16. Now, if I did not have the luxury of the calculator, I would put these two fractions over here. Now let's look at our bigger denominator, the 16. Can 2 go into 16 evenly? Yeah, 8 times. So I can use 16. So this would just stay times 1 is 7. Times 8 is 8. Okay, so I can replace those. So that'd be 7 over 16, and that would be 8 over 16. So I know that the denominator from there would be 16. Now I start at positive 7, and I'm adding a positive, so I go to the right. And if I'm at 7, I go right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I end up at 15. Okay, so with the adding, you're good to go. If the operator is an adding to begin the problem, you're good to go. Just negative left, positive right. But if the operator is a subtraction, you need to convert it to addition, and then it's either plus plus. If it was minus negative, you go plus plus. If it's minus positive, you go plus negative. Circle those because then the operators go to addition. Okay, now let's turn the page over. I would like you to take away that 0.6 and just go with 5, please. Now, some of these packets I make changes to if I think it's necessary. Okay, so now you got integers, so you're perfectly capable of using the number line. Okay, A minus B plus C. A, B, and C are what are called variables, okay? They're letters that are replaced with numbers. They represent numbers. So what I like to do with variables is first put them all in their own parentheses, and then empty the parentheses. So parentheses minus, parentheses plus, parentheses. Okay, so what value does A hold? It holds negative 3. What value does B hold? Negative 6. What values does C hold? 5. Okay. So let's just look at these numbers first. So my starter is negative 3. And that would be over here. You're not going to use a calculator. You're going to use number line. Okay, the operator's minus, so we need to change that to plus, but I need to decide if it's plus plus or plus negative. Well, am I subtracting a negative or a positive here? I'm subtracting a negative, so it goes plus plus. So I start at negative 3, and the 6 is positive, so I'll move to the right first. Okay, so start at negative 3, and we'll go 6 to the right first, because that 6 right there is positive. Positive, negative. So negative 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I end up at 3. So let's cross these out and replace those two terms with just 3. And then drop the plus 5 down. And there are no negatives there. 3 plus 5 is pretty simple math. I mean, if you wanted to use a number line, we'd be at 3. And then we're adding a positive, so we go to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equals 8. Okay, my next problem. Negative. Oh, first off, put parentheses. And even though that's already in parentheses, put your own parentheses. Now empty the parentheses. So negative and then empty parentheses. Plus parentheses, negative. Empty that parentheses and then another parentheses. Okay, so A. A holds a value of negative 3. And B holds a value of negative 6. Okay. Now my starter is negative negative 3. Well, if it's a negative negative, you just get rid of the negatives and it's positive 3. Okay, so we're starting at positive 3. Always know where you're starting at. And the operator's an adding, so that's good. And then I'm adding negative negative 6. Well, if there are two negatives, we're going to make that becomes a positive. They cancel out. Okay. So I'm starting at 3 and I'm adding a positive now. So go to the right. So 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 takes you to 9. Okay, next problem. parenthesize your variables, and then empty those parentheses. So negative, parentheses, plus parentheses, minus parentheses. So my A I know is negative 3. My B is negative 6. And then my C is 5. Okay, so let's start with just these two. Negative, negative 3. Get those double negatives out so we know we're starting at positive 3 right here. Here's 0, so here's 3. That's the starting point. Don't forget that. And then my operator is an adding sign, so that's good. And I'm adding a negative, so I'm going to go to the left. So I'm starting at 3, going left 6 units. So 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I cross this out and replace it with negative 3. And then drop the minus 5 now. Okay, now with these two, negative 3 is your starter. Right here, here's 0. We know we're starting there, guaranteed. The operator's minus. I don't want the operator to be minus, okay? We need to make it plus, but is it going to be plus negative or plus plus? Well, I'm subtracting a positive number, so I would go plus negative, okay? So I will be going to the left. Okay. Now that we have our operator adding, I go to the left because I'm adding the negative. So negative 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm at negative 8. Okay, so as long as you convert that operator and make sure your operator is a plus sign, you should be good to go. You just got to do the right thing, plus plus or plus negative. Okay, you got some easy word problems here, okay? A temperature starts at negative 3 degrees, then rises 4, drops 6 degrees, rises 2 degrees. Find the temperature. So the temperature is just degrees. I want that as your label. Put your whatever the label is equals. So it starts at negative 3, then it rises 4, so plus 4. Then drops 6. Instead of minus 6, add a negative 6. Because remember, we want our operators to be adding. Then rises 2. Because here's the kick butt thing about this. I can find the answer all at once on my number line. I'm going to start at negative 3. Then 4 is positive, so I go 4 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm at 1, okay? 6 is negative, so I'm going to go 6 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm at negative 5. And then 2 is positive, so I go to the right. 1, 2, negative 3. You see how I find that without a calculator? It's pretty easy. Start here, go right 4, then left 6, then right 2. Okay, so negative 3. Okay, in an atom, a proton has a positive charge when an electron has a negative charge. If an atom has 25 electrons and 15 protons, find the charge of the atom. Just write charge. All right, so 25 electrons. Now remember, electrons have a negative charge, so negative 25. And then I add. Remember, we want our operator to be adding 15 protons, so positive 15. Okay, so my starter is negative 25 way at the end, and I'm adding a positive, so I'm just going to the right. So 15 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and I'm at negative 10. Okay, and then the last one, we're playing some golf. Now, those of you who don't golf, you might need a little explanation. If a hole has a par 4, that means you get 4 shots to make it. If it takes you over, if it takes you more than 4 shots, how many more than 4 is 6? It's 2. So that's a 2. Okay. 4, but this time it only took you 3, so you're 1 under the par. So negative 1. 3, 3, that's 0. And then if it's par 5 and it only took me 3 to make it, then I'm 2 under the par, so negative 2. Okay. You can just add those together, so it's 2 plus negative 1. I don't need to include 0 as one of my terms. It's not going to have any impact on my final answer. Okay. Okay, so my starter point's at 2 right here. And then I'm adding a negative 1, so I want to go left. Now I'm at 1. And then I'm adding a negative 2, so I go left 2. 1, 2, and that ends up with a score of negative 1. Okay, now here's how you do assignments. You go in your textbook, page 34, okay? And then the first problem you're going to do is problem number 10. Go find problem number 10, do it in that square. 12, do it in that square. 14, do it in that square. So you notice how I'm not putting 13 and 15. You don't have to do those problems. You only do the problems I've listed in the square, okay? Really pretty easy. And don't stop till you're at the end, okay? When I quit putting numbers, that's when you stop. I don't want any of this. Well, I didn't know we had to do those. No, if it's a number, you stop. With integers, I want you using the number line. If it's a fraction or decimal, you can use your calculator.